name is Sammy, and I am the author of Trauma, a PTSD blog. Today, I wanted to talk about seeking validation, especially regarding trauma and PTSD. Now, when you think about seeking validation, you might demonize the concept. You might think about social media and how, we share our lives on social media, we share photos and videos on social media, and that's a form of seeking validation. And it is very demonized by a lot of people. We think that we should be the ones validating ourselves. And if we need any sort of reassurance or external validation, we should feel shame for it. A lot of people feed that narrative. And I'm here to tell you that seeking validation in and of itself is not a bad thing. In fact, it can be pretty healing. Now, it's the way that you go about it that really tells how it's going to impact you and whether or not it's healthy. Doing anything to an extreme, relying solely on external validation, of course, isn't the healthiest way to move through a trauma. But somewhere along your journey, you might need that group, that supportive group of people who are there to validate what you went through. And that's okay. In order for me to even seek therapy in the first place for what had happened to me as a child, I first needed to come forward and talk to my loved ones about what I had been through, for them to say, hey, this isn't okay. It's impacting you. Your feelings are valid. You should seek help. You should seek trauma therapy. And I wouldn't have gotten to that place of seeking help and learning how to validate myself if I hadn't first sought that validation from close loved ones. Now, at times, this did become an obsessive, compulsive loop for me where I needed constant external validation. And it did become a compulsion where I would kind of seek it from anywhere, right? I went through a phase of oversharing. And that's why oversharing is super common for people, who've been through hard things. We sometimes will overshare to get different opinions and different views and kind of try to connect with people and see whether they think our feelings are valid. That is something that I did a lot when I was healing. But as I went through my trauma therapy, I learned that there are ways that I can validate myself. And that has been so powerful because it's very empowering to say, I'm going to validate my experience here. I don't need someone else to tell me how I deserve to feel about a situation or whether or not my feelings are even valid to begin with. I can do that myself. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I went through. And I can now do that for myself. But again, seeking validation in and of itself is not a bad thing. And in order to stop doing it and stop that pattern, if it becomes obsessive, is to first accept that it's not bad and to stop shaming yourself for it. Stop letting other people shame you for it. Shaming yourself won't make you better. And what you really should try to practice doing is just being self-aware of who you're surrounding yourself with and how they make you feel. Do they invalidate you, then causing you to seek validation elsewhere? Or do they lift you up and encourage you to validate yourself, to trust yourself, and help you build trust within yourself? Working with a professional, like I said, is really, really helpful. That has been so, so important for me in my healing journey. And also just be patient with yourself. Do not expect yourself to shed these patterns overnight. It has been years of my healing journey, and I still often, if I get set off by something, I will still go to people in my life for validation. That's okay. Be patient with yourself. You can expect that to happen from time to time and just keep moving forward. You're not alone. You're not the only one who does this, and everything's going to be okay.